So if you already don't know, I am pregnant. I am expecting my first child. I am 19 weeks today, and I really wanted to try to do my best to try to document this journey, though it's very difficult for me. I'm a pretty outgoing person in real life, but for some reason the older I get, the more private I get with my personal life. There's just certain things that I like to keep to myself and only share when the time is right. But after my own experience with my first trimester and just my experience now as a new mommy to be, I find myself on YouTube searching everything. So I know I'm not the only one, and I kind of wanted to share my story because hopefully it can help somebody in return, and vice versa, my future son or daughter will have these memories to look back on that are once in a lifetime. So without further ado, as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to talk about my first trimester and how that was, because that was fun. So I asked a couple of you guys on Instagram if you guys had any questions about my first trimester. That way I can kind of gauge like where I should go with this video. So I'll go into like a general consensus of how my first trimester was, and then kind of go deeper into the questions that you guys asked. My first trimester was really rough. I have a condition called, I have an autoimmune disease called Addison's, which is my adrenal gland just doesn't work. So my first trimester experience was a lot different than what most women have, just because of that condition alone. And also I had morning sickness all day. I don't know why they call it morning sickness. Whoever said morning should just go somewhere, because it's not morning, it's all day for me. At least for me it was. I know some women don't even have it, and y'all are lucky. Mine was just really bad nausea and vomiting, and if I didn't eat, ooh.
If I didn't eat,
oh my god, the demons would come out of me. It was like hangry to a different level.
Morning sickness is not just morning sickness, it's like all day sickness for me. Been in bed for the past 3-4 days, can't get out, but this is what I'm eating, just plain stuff, and I keep gagging every few minutes, but it'll all be worth it, because on Friday we get to hear your heartbeat.
So tired and just weak, but towards week 12, 13, I was pretty fortunate in where it got better and all those symptoms started going away. My endocrinologist prescribed me a new medication, so then my Addison's was taken care of, so it was just the nausea I was dealing with for most of the time. And then my OBGYN prescribed me Sofran for nausea and vomiting, and that was a lifesaver. I'm not one of those people I'm against like prescription drugs. Like, I think in moderation everything is good, but Sofran literally saved my life, because I went from eating like nothing and then throwing it up to being able to eat a full meal and then start to feel like myself again, besides being tired, nausea, and just dealing with my autoimmune was pretty rough. That's like the overall how I felt my first trimester. Now I'm gonna dig deeper into the questions that you guys asked me on Instagram, because these are pretty specifics. So let's start from the beginning. How did you guys find out that we were pregnant? And then another one was, were you guys actively trying? So Jordy and I, my husband's name is Jordy, we decided that for 2019 we wanted to start a family. We've been married for 2 years now, 3 years together, and this is something that we've always wanted. And like I mentioned with my autoimmune disease, my pregnancies had to be planned. They couldn't just be like on a whim and, you know, like, oh, it just happened, just because of my health issues. So earlier this year, well, at the end of last year, we decided, okay, 2019 is going to be the year we're going to start trying. You know, whatever happens is in God's hands. So come earlier this year, like January, February, I went to all my doctor's appointments, had all my blood work done, make sure I was good, clean bill of health, and my doctor's like, go for it, you're all set. So, like I said, we were trying, but like not trying, you know, that kind of thing. And I was a week late to my period. I didn't have any symptoms at all except my period was late a week. And I thought, okay, maybe, you know, I'm late a couple days, maybe it's just, you know, my body getting used to not being on birth control, blah, blah, blah. I let a week go by, and then I was like, I don't know, man, I kind of want to take a pregnancy test. And I've always been the paranoid type. Like my whole life, I've always been like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Like, and to the point where my husband's like, you need to stop taking pregnancy tests all the time just because you're one day late. Like that kind of paranoia. So I was a week late at this point. It was a random afternoon. We were both on the couch watching TV, and I didn't even tell him I was gonna go take a pregnancy test, but I felt the need to go pee. So I get up from the couch, go to the bathroom, grab a pregnancy test from under the sink, take my pregnancy test, and it was middle of the afternoon, so I'm like, oh, it won't show up anyway. Like usually you want to take it in the morning. As soon as I peed on that stick, it was like, boom, pregnant. I was like,
Oh.
I always thought that I was going to have this big like moment when I found out that I was pregnant and start crying, because it's literally been my whole dream, my whole life dream to become a mom. And at that moment, it was just so surreal. Like it didn't really hit me. And so I pick up the pregnancy stick, open the door, and then I just show my husband. I'm like, I didn't even say anything. And his reaction too, he was like, oh, and then I was like, yeah, we're pregnant. And he's like, oh, wow. Like, I'm trying to remember. His side of the story is completely different, but he was super calm. He's like, you want to take another one? And I was like, yes, I don't have another one. I did what every woman does. You run to CVS. I was like chugging water along the way. Went to CVS, grabbed one of those digital tests, and then came home, peed on it, and as soon as I peed on it, this is what happened. So Jordy and I think we were both kind of in shock. Like, we didn't have this moment of like, oh, like cheering or anything like that. Like we were both happy and excited, but we're just like, holy shit, this is it. This happened way faster than we expected. So he was like, all right, let's stay calm, like let's not tell anyone. And that was a conscious choice that we made, to not tell anyone right away. It was just like our personal little secret for about 3 weeks. I was like, ooh, that was so hard not to tell anybody. So for 3 weeks, from the moment I got my positive pregnancy test to the moment I went to the doctor for the first time to confirm pregnancy, I didn't tell anybody except my husband, which was really nice, just to have that like secret between us and just that moment of this is ours. So that was very special. And then finally, when I went to the doctor for the first time to hear the heartbeat and like confirm that everything was fine, that's when we told my family and friends. Another question that someone asked is if we had any fertility issues, and I, for whatever reason, maybe because of my autoimmune disease, thought we were going to, but we did not. That was not the case. It happened really, really fast. We started trying, I got off birth control late last year, and then December of last year, and then I got pregnant in January, February. So it happened really, really fast. Are you feeling sluggish to cook, or did you want to be cooked for by your hubby? So a lot of people were curious to see how I felt about cooking, and to be honest with you, I didn't even have the energy to cook, and certain things would gross me out. Like, very specific things would gross me out. The smell of onions, the smell of garlic, the smell of eggs, even just like thinking about eggs would, like, now I can actually eat eggs. I'm not a huge egg eater in general, but now I can eat them just fine. Chicken still grosses me out. Like I don't even think about cooking because I was so tired all the time. So when I ate whatever was available. I ate like a bagel, like literally a piece of a bagel, and that was enough. Or saltine crackers were my saving grace. So hubby definitely had to cook a lot because I was not feeling it. My doctor prescribed me Zofran, which was a lifesaver. A couple of the homeopathic like things that I tried that definitely did not work or work temporarily to help ease my nausea, which maybe will work for you. I tried these motion sickness oil. It's like a relief oil. That kind of helped for a little bit. That was kind of a lifesaver. I would put it like in the middle of the night behind my ears. I also looked up and I found that apparently if you have a lot of morning sickness, it could mean a magnesium deficiency. So then I bought a magnesium spray to like put on my belly to help, and that didn't really do much. Like I was just trying everything. I tried the ginger candies. That didn't help. I tried the pregnancy tea that helps with, you know, a little bit of morning sickness, and I mean it was a nice tea and I still drink it today, but it wasn't like beneficial for me. But the one thing that was like the biggest lifesaver besides Zofran was saltine crackers. Oh my god, those saltine crackers, let me tell you. First of all, I don't even want to see a saltine cracker now because I'll probably like just get repulsed by the sight of it. But saltine crackers were it, okay? I was on the toilet at 2, 3 a.m. throwing up, and then right next to me I'd have some rubbing alcohol to kind of get rid of that vomit smell, and then I'd have 2 to 3 saltine crackers and water, and then I'd go back to bed because at 3 a.m. I would wake up starving and nauseous, and then I'd go back to bed. So definitely saltine crackers, keep them on deck. Any weird food cravings? What do you dislike eating that you loved before? So this isn't more like, I guess this is just like a general pregnancy question now because I'm in my 2nd trimester now. But in my 1st trimester, there were so many limited things that I could eat just because everything grossed me out. I just kept eating bagels with cream cheese. That was like it. And then Burger King. I know it sounds so gross and I'm a chef and I should be like cooking like all these gourmet meals, but Burger King for some reason was something that just stayed in my stomach and it filled me up and it was so delicious. I did have a craving for pickles for like a quick second. I mean, I love pickles, I've always loved pickles, but it wasn't like, oh, pickles. And salads, like just big salads with like a nice citrusy vinaigrette. Oh, like I could still mess one up. Now, in my 2nd trimester, I have never, in my whole entire life, I've never been someone that likes sweets. Like I've never been like, oh my god, dessert. Like very rarely will you hear me like talking about wanting a dessert. However, with this pregnancy, I crave sweet like no one's business.
Chocolates and candies and donuts. Like I don't know why, like the yeastiness of the donut just tastes so good to me.
Forbidden donut.
Jelly beans, Skittles, like it's crazy. Like sweets are just, I love them. Another question that gets asked to me the most is what are we having? And we are having a baby. So my husband and I are choosing to wait to find out what we're having, and I'll probably do a separate video on that because I feel like that's like you don't see that enough, and I kind of want to share why we're choosing to wait. People think we're crazy, so I'll do a separate video and I'll make sure I link it below. So that wraps up all the questions that you guys asked me about my 1st trimester. If you're a mama that's in your 1st trimester, hang in there, girl. Hang in there. It does get better, hopefully, for you. And if you're having the smoothest pregnancy, yes, you go, girl. I think now being pregnant, I'm realizing how incredible mothers are. Like we go through so many changes in our body, our mind, our hormones. Like it is insane. And then on top of that, you have to deal with regular life. And I just have so much more of appreciation for women and mommies, and it's insane. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm not gonna do the whole YouTube spiel, but you guys know what to do. If you like this and want more videos, just comment, let me know. I'd love to hear about how your first trimester was, any remedies that may have helped, or if you also have an autoimmune disease and how that went along with your first trimester. I would love to know. So make sure you comment below, and I will see you in my next video.